right there, Latin 1. We're going to translate review 4E. So go ahead and translate review 4E. Okay, you did it. Now, I will read it to you. Get out your red pen, take a look at the tenses. Don't worry about good English because you don't get to use that for another 2 years. Porsenna, the king of the Clusiini, was already besieging Rome for a long time. Therefore, the Romans, because they were not able to bring food into the city, were dying of famine, were dying of hunger. At that time, a certain Roman soldier named Gaius Mucius, who was wanting to save his fatherland and the citizens, decided to kill Porsenna. And so Mucius went to the Roman senators and said, I have in mind to cross the Tiber River and enter into the camps of the enemy. There, I wish to kill King Porsenna. The senators responded, if you want to try this, it is allowed for you. Now, what I love here is they didn't tell him to do it. This is a very Roman thing. If you want to, sure. And one of the reasons is you don't want to set the precedent of we will murder kings, because then the kings would be, what's that word I'm looking for? Accountable for their actions. Anyway. Happy, Mucius returned home. He snatched a sword and he hid it under his tunic. See, notice this is not reflexive because he didn't hide himself. He hid the sword. He hurried across the Tiber and he entered into the camps, he entered the camps of the enemy stealthily. There, he saw a huge crowd of soldiers. Two men were sitting at a table in front of the soldiers. One was giving money to the soldiers, another was watching. Mucius was thinking, which is the king of these two? Is it not that one who is doing everything? It is necessary to kill him, to kill that one. Mucius approached to the table and he killed the man with his sword. All the soldiers gaped, or all the soldiers were stupefied. Mucius was fleeing from the camps, but the soldiers caught him or seized him. "O wicked one," they said, "why did you kill the scribe of the king?" Now here's where he's got the second most badass thing that he does in this whole story. He says, "I was wanting to kill the king, not the scribe," responded Mucius. So it's like, "Oh, my bad, I meant to do something worse." The king, when he heard these things, he was angry, and he ordered the soldiers to punish Mucius. Proudly, Mucius responded, here's where it gets even more badass, "I am a Roman citizen. They call me Gaius Mucius. I entered the camp because I was having in mind to save the city Rome. You caught me, but I do not fear punishment." At that very moment, Mucius was standing near an altar and a fire. Suddenly, he thrust, that's even better than what we had before. He thrust his right hand into the fire. Now, what's not being said here is what he said when he did it, which was, "Since this hand failed me, I will punish it myself." But he thrust his hand into the fire. Immediately, the king rose and ordered the soldiers to pull the man out of the fire, or even better, away from the fire. "Although you are an enemy," he said, "I send you now back to your citizens, because you are a very brave man." The real story, he didn't do it for that reason, but he realized that he was dealing with somebody who's crazy. And Mucius even said something like, "Oh, you think that I'm bad? I'm the average. There's plenty of guys worse than me, and you're going to have to deal with them every day until you leave." But back to the story. Afterward, Mucius returned to Rome, or Romeward. He told the whole thing, or the whole story. The citizens not only were praising Mucius, but because he was now only having his left hand, they named him Lefty, because the Romans are big on 1950s nicknames. So, awesome story. It's a lot of fun, especially when you translate the real version. It's even cooler. So that was review E, and that's all you need to do. I think you're good. I will see you for chapter 22. All right, I'm going to hit the button.